Just want to confirm that before they lock anything in, you know?
Yeah. I guess... Wait. Wait.
It's... Okay, so I think this might be Senna Neela bottom with the Zeri mid and top Aurora. And then D plus are like, okay, we'll play Smolder.
I mean, it does a lot of damage as the game goes along.
This draft is silly.
You don't necessarily have to do that with this comp, and they are going to go for Kai'Sa, which I think is better comp-wise for DK.
It is very good into the Zeri and can, you know, get on top of the Aurora. The Aurora has been shown, like, she has a really poor win rate, actually, in the LCK. She's 2-4 at the moment, but I think she's very strong if you can draft around her. They have good setup.
We'll see what happens here as we're hopping onto the Rift for game number 1.
It's not good. You might get...
What about the Corgi butt shake? I mean, clearly better than the spinning.
Yeah, I'm going to have to lean on Showmaker for this one.
Yeah.
Or lean towards, I should say. Fisher trying to get some damage done here to Lucid. Proc that fleet footwork.
Did. I mean, they saw Lucid, right? I thought they did. Maybe they didn't. As Sylvie's going to have to flash here at level 1. Just a very awkward trade that we don't often see in
Pro. See a lane swap here into the top lane for D+, pushing the Aurora out of lane, which really hurts. Going to go over. It's not a horrible pushing lane there, as you have Sylvie.
Where's he going?
Yeah, he's
going to take the red.
He's going to get away with it, too, because they're really indexing into making sure this top push goes off.
Yeah.
Kingen is up there as well, but this is going to be a lot of plate gold going over to Anila. And on the top side, the Kai'Sa is going to get some of that gold, as it looks like they're going to swap back now. This is feeling pretty good for Nongshim, as Sylvie's not only going to get the red buff, but will also get the Krugs without a hitch here, completely unscouted, uncontested. Not too far behind, in fact, ahead in XP.
Yeah. And Lucid's like, wait, where's my jungle? There's just nothing here. That's weird. And Sylvie, very nice pathing early on in this game.
Really
at the end of the day,
I don't know if he saw the ward. Lucid's up here.
I think he knows now. He just got hit by the minions.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucid looking for a play. If he lands this ult onto Mihail, yep, he's going to land it. There it is, the flash on in from Kingen, and he is just so dead. Nothing that Mihail can do, even flashes, and he still dies.
And no answer just yet. Sylvie's coming over, but he alone I don't think is going to be enough.
Okay, they're going to engage on a Sylvie, but now Moham is here, and immediately Sylvie's like, oh crap, there's 3 of them. I didn't mean to get into this kind of fight, but Sylvie's just going to go down. His first blood given over, it said, actually, over there to the Kai'Sa, and it is going to be another kill given over to Moham, as that is just going to be 3 kills on the board now for Deepless Kia.
Yeah, tricky. This situation, Sylvie's on this first, but definitely Prio goes to D+. They have this TP as well, and I think Nongshim should be wary of actually looking for an engage. You can't close the gap.
Yeah, Nongshim very split up here. They're trying to group up, and they're going to get that cleanse out of Jiwoo, but Moham in a bit of a trouble here as the Aurora ult does come down. Moham might fight the dust. Yes, he will, but Sylvie goes down as well as aiming takes him out. As now Lucid trying to disengage here. DK don't want any more, but that will be a second kill going over to Mihail on this Aurora.
Yeah, so he picks up 2 deep later on, and to put the Sylvie deep into the enemy jungle as he is now. They're just playing through this top side. Here comes Fisher.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for an all-in here onto Showmaker, who will respect it. Does go for a flash, especially with Sylvie making his way up here. As the Nature's Grasp, he is under the turret, but he's still killable as in goes Sylvie, and Showmaker will be taken down. It's 500 gold given over to Fisher on Zeri. As we got another fight in mid here, though, as it looks like Neela has pushed up a little bit too far. Jiwoo's going to go down.
Well, you know, Sylvie as a support who is a pseudo AD carry in this case with Fisher.
Oh, he's got aiming with him, and there goes aiming right into the back line. Takes down
Void Seeker. Once he's hit by that, he is definitely just dead. There's no turret to go to as Moham's going in.
Trying to go in here on a Jiwoo. They're going to get the cleanse out.
Just not very valuable, unfortunately. And aiming is, you know, one of our best Kai'Sas, and he's making use of the gold.
So they're just standing on the ward, and they have no idea. They're still just going to go in for the fight. The Aurora ult catches everybody, but DK don't seem to care, as a lot of damage do go into Lucid and Moham, though, so they have to back away. Fisher also trying to go in with his ult, but now he's going to have to flash away himself, kind of trying to do it all by himself, and he will be punished for that. Really chop away at all the MR on the side of DK, especially with Mountain Soul on the cards here. Ziu is going to get caught by that in mid-dash. Doesn't even have to cleanse though, so he just walks it off. But trying to set up here for this Mountain Drake is DK.
Yeah, Moham's a little bit split off. Looked like he was just going to walk straight into 4 people, but he doesn't realize he can't take that path and takes the longer path around now. And what looked like a great Drake start for D+, they're now outnumbered. Showmaker is about to walk into a TP, he sees it.
Mihail's just in the backline. He's just going to be blown up immediately. Gets taken out, and now the equalizer does a good job zoning them away. A bit of damage is now on this front line. Nongshim still trying to fight it for some reason. They have already lost the fight. It's double kill for Aiming, as now some big ones are coming out, of the poke from Aiming as well as he dashes into the back line. And this could even be a penta, but it is just one guy to get away. Jiwoo, a quadra kill goes to our Gold King.
Oh man, Mia was trying to set up a flank angle there, but just gets collapsed on. Showmaker's denied entry, but it just doesn't matter. Now D+ have their eyes on the Baron. Moham's already been on it for a second or two, and now the rest of the team shows up. So a big team fight win. Dragon goes over. 4 kills for Aiming. After, okay, hold up. Maybe an angle here on the Showmaker.
He's just trying to turn onto Mihail, and yes, he has a lot of damage, but that is 2 guys. Make it 3 now as Fisher flashes the wall. The equalizer comes down, just kind of half-heartedly to try to peel, but that is going to be Showmaker taken down.
Yeah, and that's a big pick here. You know, he had the Immortal Shield Bow, as I don't know if you want to go in on this Aiming. He's not going to. You know, he looked at his inner demons. He said, not this time.
Never got a chance. Like, there hasn't really been a true team fight where Nongshim are like, okay, Neela's going, we got Maokai, we've got all these guys.
Maybe he'll get it now.
Sentinel ultimate over the top. Let's see it. Come on, let's do it. One time for the boys, says the root's going to come down. Equalizer, a lot of damage into Nongshim, and that is just Baron given over to D+ Key as in goes the Aurora, and Moham is in a really rough spot, and now Mihail is able to jump over to the side, but they only get 1, as Lucid still has his flash, and he doesn't even have to use it.
Yeah, their Mihail's ultimate is pretty decent in the pit there. It's just not quite enough. They get the pick onto Moham, who's left behind. He's a Leona, but they get an inner turret. Maybe they can get more here. There's a Neela ult.
Yeah, he's going to use it onto Lucid and then nearly die. Not quite the angle. I think that's just frustration. Jiwoo's like, come on, I want to use this. Like,
yeah.
Negative. Yeah, they're just waiting for the next wave, and I'm sure they will get into the positive.
They went up. I saw +6 for a second there. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sylvie's going to throw out an ult here, knowing that this is the push that the wave that they want to go on. But now here comes the Wombo combo. Not really going to layer it well onto Sylvie, who does get away with the Maokai Twisted retreat this time. And finally, D+ Kia get into the positive here with plus 200 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play.
Yeah, it's really just
trying to create some kind of resistance, but already a little bit behind the 8 ball.
Hanging on a flank here for an equalizer setup.
All right, they're trying to engage on a Lucid as the cleanse will come out, and everybody on the side of Nongshim just abandons ship. Just gets away, just tries to kite it out. Lucid is pretty low, and now the Aurora ultimate comes down. They catch Lucid. They catch the jungler of DK, and that is going to stop this push from coming in. Jiwoo also going to be able to lock down a kill, but that just gives Aiming another one, and now potentially the snowball to come in as everything is on fire. But Kingen maybe disrespecting the enemies now as they push forward. Nongshim looking for more, and they're looking for the big shutdown onto Aiming as he has the Zhonya's, but only the Zhonya's 1Q does a lot of damage, but it's only a trade 1-for-1, and Nongshim are on the push.
They're on the push. They're going to look for this inhibitor at least. I mean, there's 4 members down. Kingen doesn't have ult. They might just be able to end this game. I think they can. They have a ton of damage from these champs that they have up and available. Mountain's Dragon denied.
Baron is very risky. You can see already some of the health bars being chipped away. It's not just Aiming, it's also Showmaker as in goes Moham, the equalizer. Again, this is not a full committal, but now Aiming gonna pull the trigger. Big solar flare onto that backline, but the damage was not put in. Lucid super low, and so is Moham, and so is Aiming. Aiming the first one to go down. Showmaker just throws his life away in the river, and Nongshim are just outplaying them.
That was a disastrous fight from D+. Very puzzling calls there. The Aurora ultimate locks down Aiming, and now Lucid, the last to fall. I think maybe they'll get an inhibitor this time, Val. Maybe even more.
I think without Baron, it's going to be difficult,
Yeah,
but
they could just kite down towards the mid inhibitor, worst case scenario. But I mean, look at this. With 6 grubs, they can definitely push the issue. I mean, Showmaker's not up for 13, aiming for 10. I think they just end.
yeah, they just have to push potential, enough minions, and not enough D plus Kia. Nongshim, Red Force win game number 1. Again, they absolutely got punished, and I feel like it's very well deserved. I think Nongshim played it out very well, and they baited DK into these weird fights that were always on Nongshim's terms, and that was fantastic. Like, look at the damage everybody did there. Our former AD carry, yeah, the guy who's now support, just has to play a real support. That is Rel.
Vital did win his last Rel game. Some elements to pick, and it's going to be a tough comp, though, into what D+ have.
We'll see how it goes as we hop into the rift for game 2.
Where? I thought the idea here and the concept was very smart from Nongshim.
Yep, Kingen did spot actually
do anything except just hunker down under his turret. We'll see if this goes punished, because obviously Ivern will need some time. He's going to look for a potential gank. Oh!
The root comes in. I mean, it's more of just a prank, right? You're not going for the full-on kill, but you are going to get Fisher very low and maybe force him to back early.
So because Lucid comes over here and sets up the captures of these camps, you know, this is Sylvie's coming over to try to deny those, but unfortunately,
well, the bot lane, I don't really see an angle for them, right? This is 2v4. They have Sylvie making the way over. It's a big wave, but there's already brushes set up here from the Ivern. You're getting zoned off of the turret and the XP and the gold. Now Sylvie's going to make his way over and make it a 3v4. So maybe that allows them some access in.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit weird, but they do get the access, as you mentioned, with Sejuani coming over. Sylvie is able to actually, and Lucid on Ivern, and again, not common, but he looks pretty well prepared.
They're really trying their best to punish the Leona, and it's just not working. I mean, they don't commit all that much to that. It's just a Sejuani ult, and they trade the flash of Moham, but now a chunk goes into Jiwoo. He's especially compared to the Ezreal and the amount of damage that aiming is doing. So they don't feel confident in a fight there, and Sylvie's not able to get much else other than a couple of camps.
Fisher actually doesn't get the free back. Coming back a little bit late to lane here, losing some minions, not able to show up for this grub fight. D+ already have 2 grubs, and if they get 5 on this Tristana and aside, I've already talked about what this is strong at doing. So much this game, but almost so much this season.
All right, here's the fight. He catches 2, and Lucid just going to be burnt down 100-0. The Aurora ult comes in, but now Kingen is alone. They try to turn out to him. He's going to be forced to flash away. It's a pretty big win here for Nongshim. They want to go for a bit more as the ult's just not the prediction they were looking for. And meanwhile, DK are just taking the objective.
So they end up with an additional grub there. Not going to be the 5 they wanted. Still pretty significant. They're able to get that 1. This is going to be good in the side, but it's just great engages. Meanwhile, speaking of engages.
Yeah, just going on in. Lucid here once again, but now Moham's just going to be torn apart. Aiming doesn't do damage yet. I mean, he just got his Triforce, and he's still not able to cut through the Sejuani or the Cassante. So that engage very ill-fated from the outset, I would say.
More carefully. Does feel like they have the better comp in this one, as Fisher is...
yeah, all right.
Vital's here, too.
He's really trying to clear the wave, I guess, to not get dove. Well, he's still in a lot of trouble here, but now he doesn't have assault, and he's just going to be CC'd 100-0. It does take quite a while, but it's still a kill given over to the Corki. Meanwhile, though, DK pushing in mid. They're going to get the Steer 1 and maybe a bit more.
Yeah, putting the extra charge through here for Lucid. No one there for the punish. Tristana also pushing in the top side. So, you know, with the heavy commitment by Nongshim, but still, nonetheless, pretty good.
Moham's just kind of running through the dark jungle here. He is going to get a big heal in a moment, as now the counter engage does come in. Gio in a bit of trouble, has to flash away. Now trying to get on top of Moham. Meanwhile, we got a fight up the left here. Kingen getting very low. He is going to be pulled in and nearly taken down. A lot of low health bars here. Nongshim trying to run away now, as Showmaker and aiming with the Ivern are still very scary. They will get pressured away.
Close call there on the retreat for Nongshim, but still a nice pick there, as Moham has been called out a few times this series, and now Showmaker all alone here in the top side trying to push this wave out. They are not done.
Yeah, he does not have his ult back. He does have a flash and a hop, and that will be enough to get him out, especially with this tier 1 and an Ivern nearby, and aiming, making his way up to the top lane. As Fisher, he's like, no, I'm not dodging, I just gotta run. Here comes aiming, looking maybe for the angle. And there it is, the arcane shift forward. He's just gonna get stunned up, and Vital's just running away, but it's significant poke, as once again, DK will maintain map pressure.
Yeah, Sylvie was bottom side, unable to clean anything up here, and this is just a Tristana unlocked to do more damage to turret. That is what she is doing in this game, pushing lanes and taking out turrets. Moham is denying any flanks here as Mihail's going to try to go in.
Yeah, we got a Fisher flank here from a Corki. I don't know about this, as the Solar Flare's going to miss another roll. Comes on in, right on top of the Tristana. They're going to catch DK with their pants down. Is now aiming in a bit of trouble, but he does have the Ivern to help him out. Moham going to get a little bit of help from Daisy, and now Kingen makes his way over and should be able to zone them away, but it's a kill over to Nongshim. Still, DK have 0 kills in this game. They're looking for their first one, and they might get it here as Vital will finally go down. Mihail is just going to run away from this one, but he can't get away from the Ezreal as aiming picks up the double.
Can take out Showmaker, but there's another 80 carry there, and the health bars are so low after Kingen's ult that it's easy cleanup. As Sylvie, this is greedy.
Well, if they just assume they're not there, maybe they're not there, but they were there. It turns out is aiming going to pick up another kill. Make it 3.
Well,
yes, but as Ox mentioned before, the Rel a little bit more difficult to handle, and they don't have Moonstone. So now it's just going to be Kingen dying. This has been more and more side lane pressure from Nongshim. They're going to get another kill here, and now maybe threaten Baron.
Yeah, it's Operation Kill Side Laner.
Yeah.
Specifically, laner in top lane has been the game plan for Nongshim. And as Baron is up, like you say, this pick leads to an opportunity here. Teleport coming through from Mihail onto this ward. Try to keep them at bay. Showmaker is going to TP in, but it's very late.
Yeah, it's very late. He didn't want to commit to it. This is just a free Baron given over to them. Lucid cannot get into the pit, and now they're trying to engage here. 5v4 are Nongshim. The knockup comes in, and down goes Leona. Down falls the Ivern. And Showmaker and aiming, the 280 carries are left alone. Trying to get some miraculous play here. They might be able to, but it's just a bit of poke, and that is it. Nongshim will look to back away with 5 members worth of Baron. And you've also got Ivern, which is only going to bolster your 80 carries, basically, and heal them up. But he doesn't have Moonstone, as I mentioned before. And Showmaker isn't really a champ right now. Like, he pushes turrets. That's kind of what he does. And he's just not nearly as fed as the other 80 carries in this game.
Mihail is very strong at this point in time. Like, considering how his lane went, right? We talked about it. You know, you're going to get bullied a little bit in the lane. But of time before this dragon spawns, they're going to look for those backs, looking for the LDR.
He's backing on a ward.
Or Sorelda's, excuse me.
He's going to scan it. So Moham is going to be engaged on here as, yeah, just a bit of an issue, not respecting the wardage. And the rest of the team is like, man, we can't help you. That's just Moham down, and it might just be the dragon surrendered to Nongshim as the satchel does go off. Well, that's a different champion, but now Kingen just kind of running through the jungle once again, and there is a sneaky Cassante in the jungle, and they just ran through the dark jungle, as now Showmaker has to flash to get away, and again, Nongshim are up a man here going into Baron.
Yeah, no Kingen ult for this fight is massive, and aiming doesn't have brush set up towards the objective. They have to try to leap forward slowly and carefully. Watch those arcane shift saving. I don't want to see you going in. You're gonna have to hit some Qs, and hitting him into Mihail is not necessarily what you want.
It's just so much pressure on aiming. He's the only carry. Like, if he gets caught, I don't even blame him. The team has just put him in such a rough spot at Nongshim.
Vital's flank angle.
Yeah, Vital's got a flank. Jiu's got a flank. They're closing in. They've got a concave. And they have pressure on this Baron.
Kingen has TP, but doesn't have ult.
Oh, trying to get it here on top of Jiu. He'll just dash away. This is going to be Baron over to Nongshim, as now we do have Vital coming in from behind, but he goes in alone. The rest of the team is just abandoning ship. They're just getting away. And it's another Baron given over to Nongshim.
Kingen's here.
Not quite able to lock them down. Mihail is, well, he's going to get redemptions, and the disengage cone comes in and denies us any action. So Nongshim, they get another Baron.
That was just so clean from Nongshim, though.
Trying to figure out what's going on, or having other issues in the case of T1. And I mean, now we're just going to get another pick here on a Lucid. It's just free, and
literally free.
It's just free. A couple of ults, I guess. And we got some excited fans here.
But I mean, they have full map control right now. The Casantes inside has a teleport as well, so he can actually push down that inhibitor turret with the rest of this Baron. This inner is gone.
And Gio he's really feeling himself. He's dodging literally every single Mystic shot. He's in range. He's doing more poke even than aiming at this point. And they have 2 Fed carries, which DK do not.
I mean, this is the Nongshim that the Nongshim fans have been waiting for. This is this potential of this roster fully realized. And maybe their identity just becomes the punish team, right? The last check before playoffs.
Yeah. They used to be bro. Maybe it is also bro. Don't think I'm forgetting anyone there.
B&K's alternate jersey.
Yeah, true. And here we go again. Here's the engage. It's on to Moham, but the damage that they have is just insane. And Moham has to flash away. Sylvie just a bit tankier at this point in time, although the damage is traded back.
I mean, he has Warmox, though, so as long as he can just stay out of combat for a minute here, it's all going to get healed up.
There it
As
goes.
you can see, he doesn't get hit by the True Shot. Aiming is trying to stop his Warmox heal, and he's going to lose half his health bar.
Yeah, the True Shot Barrage, I think it hit Mile. He's still got full health.
Vital on the flank, too. He's just constantly threatening. They see him, but it doesn't mean that they can't, I mean, they can't walk up still. They know he's there, so that no, they can't actually
Look
close
at the damage. Look at the damage on the Baron. They don't have any vision. They don't have any way in. And now Vital is just going to kind of send an engage. It's not a good one. He will go down. It's 5v4. In goes the Aurora, but immediately just gets ripped to shreds. But Mahal very low. In goes Siwu, assassinates him. But now he's in a rough spot. Might have to go down here. As it is 4v1, just throws a Q in, and now DK are on the push. I don't think it's over. They have Baron. They have a lot of wave clear with the Corki. They're trying to, at least Fisher's trying to trade. That's not what you want to do, as he will be pushed all the way back to his inhibitor, or rather his fountain. But yeah, with the Baron buff, I think Nongshim can hold on, and the game is not yet over.
It's not yet over on this Infernal Dragon, but I think it's just too risky. He has no vision there on the left side of the pit. They're just going to use Mihail as a wall.
Yeah, I mean, he's tanky, but at the end of the day, we're in the late game with double AD carry comps. Will DK get in is the question, as it goes to Ezreal! Aiming, he steals the Infernal Soul for DK!
And that's a ton of extra damage for this composition, and they're just going to say, you're backing, we're going to go ahead and push top. We're going to go look for that maybe second inhibitor turret here. Everyone's grouped up. Oh, we'll get those backs away. I thought they were just going to hard run it towards the top lane, but they have no wave. I think D+ will be happy with the Infernal Soul, and I guess the red buff that they steal away, the global there, having map control. They don't have that anymore, so watch this from Aiming's perspective. Oh, see a power W, but it was, I mean, it was so
to
easy.
594, which got in range for the Q, and it all happened so fast that, you know, Moham, though, he's in a lot of trouble again. He has to flash. This ult's not going to be great, as Moham is very low, but now we got Mahal in the ult here, and Kingen has to flash away too. Is on the hunt. He's going to take him down, but again, in a rough spot is now Vital, just being kited out. A lot of damage coming in from Fisher, but look at Aiming on the top side of the fight. He will be the one who carries alongside of Lucid and Showmaker. As Mahal goes in, he will take a Moham, and actually does take this wave with him. Kazante is crazy, but not as crazy as Ezreal in the late game, and that
Hands on his head after trying to clear the wave. He wants to come in here and get these low health minions.
I mean, they know he's here, but it's the only choice for Sylvie. He does get the smite, but there's one left, and that will do it for this game. They can just tank it up with Iron Shields. They have Tristana and Ezreal. You've got W's, you've got explosions, and down will go the Nexus. D+ Kia force a game number 3.
Very for a lot of it because they didn't have control. He didn't have a lot of agency. But look at that damage. This is, by the way, with the Ezreal nerf to AD. I think he's probably going to pick up POG for this one. It was a rocky game. It was a shaky game. You can see that in the gold graph. But D+ right the ship in the end, as you would have otherwise been full AD. But the Ezreal's can outrange it. The Tristana can play very well around it with her rocket jump. It's very difficult to punish her in the laning phase.
We're happy about that for the side of Nongshim. Let's see how it goes as we hop into the Rift for Game 3.
Additional experience here on stage. And I think actually losing games like this is quite important for a player like Moham. He's patched, so see what happens here in this trade.
Showmaker's just going in, and he will get swept away. Here comes Sylvie. He's going to flash now just to get over the wall. They will enjoy the Tristana flash.
Yeah, that was the best way to handle a Emperor's Divide as Tristana is the rocket jump. So if you use it in his face, he's like, wait, she doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Very bizarre, as Lucid is now in trouble with that extra prio they gain in mid. He's getting pushed off of his Raptors. One small mistake. I mean, you can see the dominoes fall a little bit here as Fisher is very low now after that Showmaker ult.
Trying to take away the Raptors as well. A bit of those go over to Lucid, but most of them will go over to Nongshim. And there's no dragon to fight over or anything like that at this point in time. They already got the dragon and did Nongshim, so.
Vital's like, thanks for stacks.
In the numbers. Yep. He likes when the production puts him at the top and the AD carry at the bottom of the other team. And Showmaker in a lot of pressure here, and that's just going to be first blood. Sylvie able to dive under the turret and take him down. Now Lucid is here. We got a roam coming in from King, Fisher pretty low. Not sure if he's going to be able to help without Divide as well. Sylvie does have his bottom lane coming on over, as this is going to get pretty risky, I would say, as the ult is going to come down here from King and holds them all in play as the True Shot Barrage does an insane amount of damage. And that is just going to be a double kill over to Lucid and a bonus kill for Kingin.
So yeah, this looks like a great start. The first kill comes through, ends up being a disaster as 3 fall on the side of Nongshim, or 2 fall rather.
Oh,
nice.
Trade for 1 grub goes the way of Lucid. And they're looking for more. They have the Tristana, they have the Ezreal. Fantastic. Pushing 80 carries, especially the Tristana. So they get the 4. They're not going to overcommit for more, although they do have Lucid there still. And being chipped away at. We got a TP coming in here.
Kill top side laner. Go.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the 1v1, feels pretty good for Fisher, as now, again, Flash available for Showmaker. Sentinel's coming in. There's the Flash, and he still gets taken out. And Fisher didn't even need Sylvie.
These fights are starting to get a little bit shaky, as Showmaker here just does not expect this Azir to show up. The ult comes out first, and then he, after the rocket jump, is able to easily get the divide, and that's that vital ult I was talking about, although I did incorrectly say
He's going to miss, and Fisher gets out, but this push from DK is very good. But how about the turn coming out from Nongshim? Jiu keeps them around. The TP comes in from a Heil, as everybody is so low. Jiu will dodge the True Shot Barrage. Kingin makes his way over as well, but it's just a kill lockdown for Vital on the Senna.
Yeah, this is
as well. I feel like you definitely see it out of a Gnar, out of a Sejuani, trapped in the cage here is Jiu, who's taking a ton of damage and has to cleanse, but it's Ezreal, and aiming just shuts that down. Jiu with no sums outside of the cleanse, it's not enough to get him away.
The damage has been done.
Aiming, simple cleanse, but it's still a tier 1 that's taken by Nongshim. Kind of, we didn't really see the setup for that, but it was only aiming under the turret, probably just trying to get
the Chemtech Dragon, but they're going to get this turret here. They're actually going to get both, ultimately. See how well they defend the Herald.
Yeah, they just feel like they can't really, especially with 2 of their guys out on the map, but it's 2 turrets for 1. Yes, DK did get the middle tier 1, which is more valuable.
He's doing it again.
Kingin is waiting. He's got a Mega Cone right next to him. Doesn't even really want to use that. He's just trying to stealth on in and engage. And, I mean, it makes it very difficult for anyone on Nongshim to really just stand there. And that's going to give them a chance now with 6 Void Grubs to hit the inner of the mid lane, as now the Neil Ultimate is going to lock Boham in place, but he is Rel. Will he be tanky enough? The answer is no, as now we still have the Flash ult engaged from Sylvie, and now a massive divide comes in from Fisher, catches 2 of them, forces so many of these ultimates to come out, but now we got the huge cage coming on down. Mahaya looking for the engage, and he gets it on the 3, but the damage not quite coming through just yet for Nongshim. Finally, they get 1 in the trade, but aiming and Kingin still alive on the backside.
Yeah, that was the fight for now.
Yeah, he could just, you know, zone Kingin away. They do not really have Kingin for now, but now the Maokai ultimate is going to be coming in. Sylvie does dodge it. He is on top of this. It is just a flip, and it goes to Lucid. As the smite not there for Sylvie once again. We get a big sweep on the disengage, but this True Shot Barrage into the Aurora ult is just disgusting. As now the damage is coming through. Fisher will fall, the Neela will fall, and DK are looking for more. Kingin with that mobility is going to find Vital, gives the kill over to Showmaker. That's 3, and the Drake to DK.
I mean, they kept Kingin out. Just keeping this Aurora at bay is so tough, and he's about to have Death Cap. That's the biggest problem, and they don't have map control, obviously, because they're facing this Baron for 30 more seconds, as Mihail may get punished as well as this Gnar expires.
Yeah, the timing of this is really rough for Mihail, and Showmaker really does want to make the most of this, as he will be forced to flash away, but Showmaker has his own flash. Not going to force the issue, as he knows, you know, take the little bonus win. You don't have to go crazy and try to chase Mihail all over around the map. and they do get a splash. This push will end with this wait.
It's at 101 stacks, you can see there.
You're 100% certain, so they haven't found any, 90, 95% chance opportunities. Speaking of which, Moham, once again, trying to frontline. He's just going to get poked down from Fisher, who is very strong.
Abyssal Mask online for him, and he has the Oblivion Orb. And the D+ are like, okay, no Narbar, no vision. We're going for this. The Senna ult will reveal the timing. This is a good angle for Nongshim.
Yeah,
the Maokai ult.
The Maokai ultimate just denies Sylvie, throws in an ult, but the damage is not there. He gets knocked away by Showmaker as well, and now everybody is in the Aurora ult. It is just a crazy team fight. Nila will go down. Some big ultimates coming in from the Gnar and the Azir. Fisher's still alive, but he eventually does fall, and that is one of the big pillars of Nongshim right now. DK, they take down the Baron. They take a nice turn fight afterwards.
Do Maokai ult into Buster Shot means no steal, guaranteed Baron. And yes, great Gnar coming through from Mihail. Fisher's ult was awesome as well, but G was taken out of the fight early, and Vital can only do so much. And I think D+ still likely end off of this top wave. No way to defend without Fisher. 20 seconds on the Azir.
Yeah, they just don't really have wave clear with these two specifically, especially against the Baron. And that should be enough to get the job done, as the Nexus is open. Miles going in. He's got a Mega Gnar. He only hits aiming, and he's just being chunked by that very man himself. As Sylvie also going to be locked in. Fisher trying his best. They are desperate, but it is not going to happen. D+ Kia, they do get it.
Became so much tougher to play out this composition. The early mid-turret take from D+ really ended up being quite valuable for them. Some good macro, though, there. Calm. Collected, aiming tops damage.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, once again, the Jiu damage is, the Nila damage, it's not really a champ that does a lot of damage unless you're really far.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the POG interview translation, joined by Amy and Kingen on the side of D+ Kia. With this win, they secured the 11th win of the season by defeating Nongshim Red Force. Let's interview the unanimous POG winners, Aiming and Kingen. Congratulations. Another 3-game series and a win in the end. How do you feel, Aiming? We always go to the third game, so it's pretty exhausting, but still winning in the end feels great. What about you, Kingen? Yeah, every time in the fan meet, I tell my fans, next time it's gonna be a 2-0, you'll get home early, but I couldn't live up to my words. But I'm a little relieved, but I don't want to say I'm relieved. I want to say I'm heartbroken because I could not keep my promise to my fans. Aiming, Nongshim pulled off an upset in their previous match, so they must have been a very intimidating opponent. Today's 3 games are very challenging. What was the most difficult aspect of facing Nongshim? So Nila Senna, very unusual comp. Also Maokai, which is really valuable in the later game, and also the presence of Maokai in teamfights are really big as well, so it was hard to deal with. Yeah, exactly. So we had Nila Senna combination in the bottom lane, with Jiu's well-known Nila pick and a support Senna played by a previous bot laner. How was it to play against them? I personally don't think Nila is a good pick, but it was pretty scary though. But Nila itself is not an easy champion to, put a lot of damage in teamfights, so it was pretty doable in the end. Even during the difficult second game, you made a critical steal onto the Dragon's Soul. So let's take a look at this play. So the empowered Q with the buff from W managed to get a steal on that dragon. How did you see that angle? So Ezreal, his damage is incredible in the later game. So I already landed my W. So I was looking for the Q angle for the steal. I was kind of expecting it because I'm pretty good at stealing objectives. I saw it coming a little bit. So Sylvie could not even use his smite. I mean, if he smoked that Drake, it could have been lucky, secure for them. But this time, I got the lucky steal. Well, in that game, actually, Nongshim already got 3 Barons, so the game was pretty much in the hands of Nongshim Red Force. And in this kind of situation, DK has to rely on your late game potential. We had Ivern, Tristana, Ezreal, so the late game value was so huge. So I was pretty confident in the late game team fights, so I was feeling pretty okay. And as a result, you delivered an impressive performance with Ezreal in the second game, dealing massive damage and remaining deathless. And moving on to game 3, your early mid-roam play a critical role in that game. How did you set that up with Showmaker? So early on in that game, I was like, I can take Comet and I can go for a very aggressive trade and win the lane, and then I can make some room to the mid lane. So we had this kind of a communication early on. And the synergy between Aurora and Tristana was so impressive and also very stylish. How did you set up for this team fight with him? I mean, it was pretty hectic, you know, everyone's just bouncing around. I was not expecting that follow-up from Tristana actually, but his reaction was so on point. We were able to get this kind of a montage moment. So with this Aurora performance, you know, top Aurora secured wins in both 2 games. How do you rate this champion right now? I want to say Aurora is a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's an OP, but sometimes it's a little you know, it's a little wonky. So if you watch the matches, sometimes when a stronger team plays it, Aurora looks really strong, but sometimes when a weaker team plays it, it looks a little bit, you know, ineffective. So it depends on how it's kind of executed. So how would you like to rate your Aurora performance? Because you said you are always aiming for a machine-like performance. Was it machine-like today? Well, this machine got a little bit... It was a little bit malfunctioning in game 2, but Zephyr will successfully kind of reassemble the machine and make it properly function. So we managed to pick up another win in game 3. He usually just gave me a feedback around my team fight positioning and engages. And then we saw a little bit of a sigh of relief in front of the camera after the game. A big sigh of relief there. Not a very machine-like emotion though. And then Aiming pulled off the King N signature performance with flexing the muscles. Yeah, it kind of grew in me, so I thought it's kind of cool, so I stole it away from him. It's a trademark from King N, so I don't think I can completely steal it, but with this, I want to get a kind of a good insight of making my own signature celebration. And King N also mentioned, because he's the OG, you know, he can't even come close. So let's take a look at the OG ceremony. The muscle flags from King N. Now we only have 2 more matches to play in the regular season up against OK Savings Bank Brion and KT Roaster. What are your resolutions for these 2 upcoming matches? Playoffs is just around the corner. I think regular season is important, but playoffs is way more important. So I think next week will be the final checkup of our own performance in order to perform even better at playoffs. I want to make sure to pick up both wins next week. I also think, you know, because we're just about to have playoffs, it's going to be very important for us to get 2 wins in the remaining matches in order to kind of make sure that we have our best form in the playoffs. And this will be the end of the POG interview from King N and Aiming, and back to the space. Thank you.